As gamers, we've all faced insurmountable odds to beat the game, to save the world. And what if I told you that these challenges that we've overcome in the games is actually not just about winning the in game battles, not just about beating the game, but it's also about unlocking our real world ability to face adversity. Today, we're delving into resilience. So, resilience built through gaming. Stick around, and I'll show you how we can unlock the secrets of gaming setbacks and turning them into real world strengths. Hey, I'm Daniel. Thanks so much, and welcome to Dragonmore XP, where we empower gamers with the skills needed to succeed through the games they play. I believe that every gaming experience contributes to your personal growth, and no game time is wasted. So today we're going to talk about resilience, and what I mean is that when you're playing an MMO and you go fight a raid boss for the first time, and you get there and nobody knows how this boss works. It's brand new, just dropped in the game, and you go in and you try it out, and holy crap, it hits you with something you didn't know was coming, you didn't expect, and you die. All your characters are dead. Oh well, time to pack up, leave. We didn't make it. See ya. Well, no, you're going to try again. You're going to keep going, and you're going to learn how the boss works, and you're going to finally beat it so you can get the reward. You can get the loot. You can get the whatever. So resilience in gaming is just about bouncing back from these setbacks. It's from these defeats, right? It's about learning from your mistakes. It's about facing the challenges head on again and again until you learn and you get it, and then you succeed. So it's not just about conquering the virtual enemies. In the real world sense, you're actually developing a mindset. And this mindset can withstand the toughest of battles. And so taking these gaming examples a little bit further, you have these very punishing games too, like your Elden Ring or your Dark Souls. But why do people play them, right? Why do you want to keep failing? Is it fun? It's like, well, it's this tenacity. It's this resilience to be like, it is challenging, but the fun is when you achieve beyond the challenge, right? So you have to understand that gaming setbacks are just part of the journey and part of the challenge. And there's an entire genre of games based on this, right? There's the roguelike games where you fail and it's just do better next time. And here's a little upgrade. So, okay, really gamers, we're conditioned, we're trained that failure is okay, right? You will fail. Your characters will die. You will hit the game over screen. Continue? Well, yeah. That's obviously the fun of the game, is to continue to learn, to try, and to finally succeed. So it's just so strange and opposite to me why in the rest of the world, failure is not looked upon the same way, right? When you go into a job, you go into just anything in your personal life experiences, you try something for the first time, you maybe try one or two times, and people are like, oh, you're not good at it. I guess you suck. Like, and it's hugely discouraging. And at the same time, you're like, well, it's like my first time doing it. Of course I'm not going to be good at it. Like, what are you talking about? Like, but just for some reason, everyone's expected to be perfect at everything that they try. And it's like, well, then nobody tries anything. So it's just this very odd situation where I'm like, no, you have to go through the failure. You have to learn. So why are we so, why are we so against failure as a society? And at the same time, we're not in certain instances, right? And I think it has to do like with your kids, right? Like when you're a kid, everything is very much more encouraging because you're young, you're new, you don't understand, like you don't know how life works. So it's like, well, we'll encourage you, right? Think about like a toddler learning to walk for the first time, right? So like they're struggling to even stand up and like finally trying to walk forward, and they fall, or they don't even stand up at all. They're like, and they can't do it. Like, would you tell the toddler after like two times they like try to stand up and be like, well, you're not a walker, I'm sorry, son, like you're just gonna crawl on all fours for the rest of your life? Like, no. Like, you're gonna encourage them, and they're gonna work on it, and they're eventually gonna learn how to walk. But then when we get older, suddenly it's like, no, you have to be perfect from the first time. What are you talking about? It doesn't make any sense. So, okay. So what about in more of this business, entrepreneurial, corporate, like, why is failure not okay? And it really just has to deal with just the tenacity to keep going. And it's just, I feel like it's so much harder in the real world, but you can still do it, right? Because one of my favorite examples is Walt Disney. And Walt Disney, when he was making Disneyland, right, he was wanting to build the theme park. So Disney, this is of course many years ago, so that not the powerhouse of a company that it is now. And it was, he needed to go to the bank to basically borrow money to construct and make Disneyland. That was his vision. He was like, I need a theme park. I want to have this Disneyland. And he went to the bank and they said no. They said, sorry, we just don't see it. We just don't see it working out. No. So he went to another bank and they're like, no, we're not going to lend you money. And so he went to, like, I think it was like 3, 4, 5, 10 banks. And then it's just like starting to wear on him. Like all these people say no. And so a question for you would be like, so if you were him, how many banks would you go to until you gave up and you're like, well, they just can't make it. It's just, they just keep telling me no. Would it be 5? Would it be 10? Would it be 50? Would it be 100? How many times would you have to hear no before you would give up? But part of it is that conviction, is that resilience. Because Walt Disney did get the money. He did have a bank say yes. After 302 banks. 300 no's to his face. But he kept going. And finally, 302, he got the yes. And he got the money. And he built Disneyland. And Disney is now the big thing that it is now. All because he was willing to continue. And he had the resilience in the face of 300 no's to his face. So we're talking about a guy that just like, talk about resilience, right? Like the fact that he just kept going. And I feel like that's what is missing from a lot of, employees and companies and just entrepreneurs in general. It's just like the unwillingness to fail and just not enough resilience to keep going, right? They see an obstacle and they just see the obstacle and they're just like, I don't know how to get around it, right? I like the other example of, it depends on where you're going and kind of the goal and the focus, right? I think there was a thought experiment of, I put you in a room, just like solid white room, 4 corners, and you start in this corner and it's like, I want you to walk forward. Okay. And you start walking forward and I suddenly shove a chair in your way. And then you just stop. And I'm like, why'd you stop? It's like, well, you put a chair in my way. Okay. But then you do the same experiment again and you're just like, all right, I want you to walk from this corner to that corner. Same thing. You start walking, I shove a chair in your way. What do? You go around it. You go over it. And you get to the corner. And I say, wait a minute. You didn't go in a straight line. You had to go over something. You had to go around something. You didn't go in a straight line. But you're like, but I got to the corner. I got to the objective. That's the important thing. If you know why, if you're clear on why you want to do something, if you're focused on what the outcome is, suddenly it's a lot easier to do the thing, right? So like Walt Disney was convinced, he was certain, his outcome was like, I'm going to get the money to build this theme park. And it's easier in games because games give you the objective, right? Beating the level, beating the boss, beating the game is the objective, right? So there's no uncertainty there. There's no like, oh, I couldn't beat this level. I guess the game's not beatable. Like it's very clear to gamers that the game is beatable. It's just when we get into the rest of life that suddenly it's not as clear. It's like, I don't know if I can make this amount of money. I don't know if I can get this promotion. I don't know if, that person will like me. And so suddenly it's just, you lose this sense of resilience or tenacity because you're not clear if it's doable or not. And I'm here to say that, if you can think it, you can do it. So it's taking that same tenacity that you have from gaming and taking that same level of certainty. Like the game can be beat. So whatever your objective is in life, whatever your goals are, they are achievable, right? If you make an achievable goal, it is achievable. Like it's as simple as that. So then you have now the conviction because you have the whole gamer mindset that says if the game can be beat, I can beat it. So now you can push forward with that tenacity, right? So you do it in games. Now we're going to do it in real life. So let's also connect the dots a little bit more on the gaming resilience to the real life situation. And by that I mean, you can have the resilience that you build in gaming serves as that foundation for facing challenges, whether it's facing challenges, setbacks, uncertainties in your personal and professional life. So, because gaming, more than just entertainment, gaming serves as like a powerful training ground, I would call it, for confronting these life challenges, adversities, battles, even. So take the example in RPGs or like an MMO, the leveling from 1 to whatever max level, call it 60 or something, getting from level 1 to 60. In the gaming world, it's understood, it's clear that it takes time and effort to get there. Yet in real life, we often seek these quick fixes, or investing thousands of dollars in like get rich quick schemes, or skipping crucial steps of a process. I'm guilty of this too. Well, I'm sure many of you are, right? So like you want the success, you want to get there, but you don't go through the steps, right? Because in gaming, the true growth and true mastery comes from this, trusting the process, this gradual, steadily leveling up and learning from failure. So in gaming, this is clear. But then again, when we get to the real world, suddenly it breaks down. So that's what I want to show you from gaming. Take that same mindset that it's going to take this steadily leveling up. It's going to take learning from failure. It's going to take time and effort, and you have to trust the process. So by this, I'm saying you can't skip the journey, right? The journey's still there. You still have to get there. However, there are occasionally some shortcuts, right? You can't skip the whole thing, and that's what the whole get rich quick thing is about. But you can take some shortcuts. This is, you don't have to go at the snail's pace, I should say. That'll take you years to get there, like I did. Like, you don't have to do like I did and take years to get there. You can like level skip, right? You can, like Mario Warp Whistle, like you can skip some levels and you can get ahead, right? Like you can go faster is the point, right? You don't have to go through every single thing. Like if somebody kind of shows you the way, you can get there. And that's actually why I've started developing my own personal development program that's tailored specifically to gamers to give you those kind of tangible results and to go faster. So that is something I'm very excited and working on, because I believe that by embracing these lessons learned from gaming, whether it's patience, resilience, the value of gradually progressing, right, that we can apply these principles that we learn from games and achieve real world success. So I'm really excited to share that. But the point for today for resilience is to say that if you're clear on it, if you're clear on where you're going, and you're clear that the objective is reachable, right? The game is beatable. If your objective is beatable, attainable, achievable, then you can do it, because you have played these games enough to know that failure is just a learning experience. So I hope you can see that building resilience through gaming isn't just about winning virtual trophies and achievement points. It's about crafting this mindset that helps you in the face of adversity. So, and now if you think you're still failing, if you think you're still quitting where you shouldn't be, like you understand this gaming resilience framework and you're like, okay, I can keep going. I understand, Daniel, I can do it. I just don't. Then that is a problem of motivation. And we'll talk about that in a future video. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this, please like the video. If you want to learn more about personal development through gaming, please subscribe for more content. Guys, this has been so much fun. Thank you. Stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.